What's up guys, and welcome back to Tech Lab. So today we're going to do a bit of a guide on how to fit case fans. And before we get into that, it's worth mentioning that fans do come in different sizes. Now the general rule is that the bigger the fan, the slower it has to move to push just as much air. But today we're going to be focusing on the most common size, and that's the 120mm fan. So when it comes to fans, there are actually three different types that you can buy. The first one is an airflow fan, just like this one from Arctic. Now these are actually designed to move a lot of air very quickly in and out of a system. The second one we've got here is what we call a static pressure fan. This one's from Corsair, and you can usually tell that they're a pressure fan because the blades are really wide, and what they're designed to do is actually focus that air through some kind of resistance like a radiator or some kind of dust filtering. The third one we've got here is a fan from Fractal. Now this is what they generally call a hybrid fan, and it can work for both case fans or radiator fans because it's kind of a midway ground fan. Now a lot of the brands, the bigger brands, actually generally do these kind of fans more than anything, so you don't need to worry if you get one of these. Now when it comes to pick the fans that you need, obviously you need the right type, but there's also ones out there that have RGB lighting, just like this one here from Antec. Now this is an ARGB system, so it does have a separate plug. When we actually start talking about plugs, there are different types of connections that you need to be aware of. These ones from Corsair actually use the 3-pin DC connection. Now that is usually compatible with most motherboard headers, and it means the speed is controlled by the amount of voltage sent to the fan itself. The more modern view is actually the PWM connection, which is the same as these Arctic fans here. Now that uses a 4-pin connection, which will go straight to your motherboard header or some kind of hub, and that actually controls the speed in a different way. By reporting the speed of the fan back to the motherboard, it will actually turn the power on and off to actually make it go faster and slower. But for many of those actual budget sets out there, you generally find that when you buy a pack of multiple fans, like these ones from Cool Moon, these are actually ARGB fans as well, they will come with a different type of connection. Now these come with a proprietary 6-pin connection, which obviously won't go to a normal motherboard header, so you'll need something like this, which is a hub. Now the hubs from Cool Moon and lots of different brands actually control both the speed as well as the lighting of the fan, but more often than not, a lot of these controllers allow you to actually plug it straight to the motherboard anyway, so the motherboard can control the controller to control the speed of the fan. Now to help us with our demonstration today, we've actually pulled out a system that we've been recently building. Now this is a basic APU system. You're running a AMD Ryzen APU, and as you can see, we don't have any case fans in there. Now this case did actually come with some case fans. It's a TechWare Forge M, and it came with 4 reasonably okay fans, but they weren't that good in terms of noise. They were quite noisy and they didn't really push that much air. So we've opted to upgrade them for some of these. Now these are Arctic F12s, and they are specifically designed for airflow, and we managed to pick this whole box of 5 up for £20. For our demonstration, obviously we're only going to be using 4 of these. We want 3 in the front and 1 in the back, and it's worth noting that there is an orientation to fans. Now what I generally do is I like to fit them where air actually gets pulled in from the front and it exhausts out the back and top. You may have a different solution that you want, but the general principle of how to fit them is exactly the same. Now obviously the best method to control your fans is directly from the motherboard headers itself. That means that the motherboard and the software can control the fan speed depending on how hot the system is getting. But when you actually fit this amount of fans in a system, not a lot of motherboards have that many headers, particularly if you're looking at an old motherboard or something from the budget range. If you don't have enough headers to power all of these kind of fans, you'll need something like this. Now this is a fan controller, and it actually takes an external power for a Molex. You can get SATA versions, and it distributes the power across multiple fans. In this case, it can take up to 10 different fans. And they also generally have this extra cable here, which allows you to run it from a single motherboard header. Now all that will do is actually transfer the PWM signal from the motherboard to this board, and then it will control all the fans. What you do have to remember if you use one of these though is that all the fans are going to remain the same speed. You're not going to be able to adjust them and tune them per header, but if it's what you need to do, it's what you need to do. And you can get much fancier versions of these. This is a very basic, cheap model that I managed to pick up from eBay a while ago. And fortunately for us, with these fans that we've chosen, we don't actually need this. And that is because these fans from Arctic already come with a splitter built in. Now there are basic types of splitters you can use if you don't have a hub like that, where you can fundamentally just get a splitter of the 4-pin or 3-pin header. Now you have to be careful using those, because the more fans you put on a header, the more power it's going to draw, and headers on motherboards can only actually take so much power anyway. Generally, if you're working up to 3 to 5 fans, that's not too bad, but when you go over that, you're going to actually start drawing too much power from your motherboard, and you're not going to have very good results. But in our case, we're only fitting 3 fans, so we're actually going to use the built-in links that Arctic have provided for the fans. Now, fitting your fans is going to depend on your case that you've got. This case in particular will simply mount them through front little sliders on the front, just like that. But some cases you'll actually find that you'll need to fit them on the inside. Other cases you can get away with fitting them on the outside. Now if you do have a case that allows you to fit them on the outside and you want to use RGB fans, then clearly you'll need to fit them on the outside. Otherwise, sometimes there are beams that go across in the case that are going to disrupt that light. So make sure you check your manual for your case to see which is the best option to take. Now when it comes to actually physically mounting those fans, you do have a couple of options. Generally, fans themselves will come with these 2 little types of screws, and they will actually thread themselves into the plastic of the fan through the chassis and hold them in place. But sometimes that will actually have an effect where the vibration from any fans will transfer into the case. So you have another option, which are using these. Now these are anti-vibration rubber mounts for fans. We did a video recently on how to actually install these and how to reduce it using Noctua branded, although these are not Noctuas, these are cheaper ones. So make sure you go check that video out if you want to do them. What we're going to use today is the screws that were provided with the fans themselves, and we're going to mount them in using them. Now to mount the fan, clearly you will need a screwdriver if you're using the screws, which we have here. And you'll also want to make sure that as you fit the fans, the wiring goes in the right direction. Now generally you want it at the back of the system so that you can hide the wiring behind the motherboard. So it's always good to make sure the wiring faces that way. To install the fans, you simply want to hold it up against the little sliders that are there. Take your screws and insert them through the case into the back, into the holes. Now, brand new fans won't have any threading in them. You'll have to do that as part of the screwing process. But they generally will thread in quite easily, and they'll eat into the plastic quite nicely. If you're using pre-owned fans, or if you're removing fans and then reinserting them, obviously this process will be much easier because the threads will already be there. But that is actually the general process. Now you want to make sure it all lines up quite nice. And before you tighten them all up, you want to make sure each fan fits perfectly fine next to each other. So we'll get these fans installed now with the screws into the back, and then we'll move on to the back fan. Okay, so now that our front fans are securely installed, we can have a look at the different way the flows go. Now, when you want to install a fan, obviously you want the air to be able to go in a certain direction. And as I mentioned before, fans do have a specific orientation. Now, usually onto the side of a fan, there will be an arrow that tells you which way the blades spin and which way the air is flowing. These ones unfortunately don't have it, so you have to use a little bit of a rule, which is where the back of the frame is actually the rear of the fan. So the air will be coming out of that side and actually in through the other. And that's the way we've installed the front ones here. Now, before we get onto the wiring, we're going to take a look at the back fan, and that's going to be exactly the same process. We want our fan to be installed so that it draws air in from the system and exhausts it out the back. Now, there is a little bit of a trick to adding rear fans, particularly when it comes to the cabling. As you install it into the system in the back here, you can either run the cabling out the back in and onto a header, and the headers are usually just about here on the motherboard. Or what I generally do is I will try to wrap it around the fan, making sure that the end is just about where it needs to be. Sometimes it'll take a few attempts to be able to get this, and I'll go this way around just to see. And then I'll install the fan where the header roughly is, just like that. And it's exactly the same process as installing before. All we want to do is insert the fan just like this, and we'll turn the machine around so you can see. And then installing the screws through the back where the slides are. And securing it in. Now that our rear fan is installed, we can just simply get the cable and plug it into the motherboard. Tidy up all the cabling, And we're good to go on that one. Looking at the cabling of the others, on this motherboard we only actually have one spare header, and like we said, we're going to use those actual link ups that Arctic have provided on the fans. So if we flip our case over, the first thing that we'll want to do is make sure that the wiring actually feeds through the side of the case. So we'll feed it through here, and we'll feed this one through the same hole, and then we'll feed this one through the bottom hole. And that way, when we put the front on, it shouldn't actually affect the wiring. And then all we need to do is actually just use the link ups provided on the fans, popping them together. There's one. There's the second one. And then the final header we actually want to run into the system, around to the front, and we will plug it into the header on the motherboard. And that is pretty much it. All the fans are now installed on this system. When we actually boot it up, the motherboard itself will control each fan, and we'll have a pretty good airflow going on. Now, if you find you didn't use those fans and you don't have those link ups, obviously you will need to install a bit of a hub, and we'll probably do that in another video when we get a case that actually requires many more fans, because it will actually be a better demonstration. But we hope you've learned something with this video, and if you have, make sure you drop us a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos going forward, and we'll catch you in the next one.